welcome back to another fantastic episode. Hi, Toby. One second here. Another fantastic episode of Lost Planet. Let's check how the audio is coming out. Not good enough. How about now? How about now? How about now? Yeah, that should be about fine. Probably right about there. Welcome back to another fantastic episode of Lost Planet 3. We're here as always, ready to get Freddy with the Sketty and the Manetti. Jeez, I just took a dab, so like I'm over here like. What were we doing last time? Oh, we're going back. I think we played for like an hour last time.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. Peyton, this is Corona's Actual, requesting immediate assistance. Are you there? Copy.
Corona's Actual. Yeah, this is Peyton. I copy. What's going on?
Peyton, get back to base ASAP. Emperor-class storm bearing down on us from blind sector north-northwest. ETA 3 minutes. We need you to secure the base moorings with your rig. We haven't had time to reinforce them since that last damn storm. You copy, Jim? Hightail it here or there won't be a base to come back to.
Roger that, boss. Flying in. Peyton out. Great freaking gig you got here, Jim.
Get back to base immediately. Emperor-class storm incoming from blind sector. We've lost the Zone 5 tension leg. Repeat, Zone 5 mooring is gone. Evacuate all Zone 5 pods. Repeat, evacuate Zone 5 pods immediately.
We're clear Corona's side. Tension line secure and awaiting mooring stabilization on your end, Corona's Actual.
Roger. Rig is on approach. Peyton, quickly, use your rig's claw arm to grab and tighten all three of the moorings.
Zone 3 stabilized. Losing pressure on the lead center line. We need Zone 2 secured.
Damn it, Peyton, the hydraulic tubes have burst. You'll have to get out on foot and repair it. Back in the rig. Secure that mooring.
Corona's actual. Zone 2 stabilized. We're almost out of the woods.
Peyton, one last mooring to secure. Make it quick. The storm's almost here. We're gonna have to close the blast doors.
Corona stabilized. We're in the clear.
Blast doors ready. Waiting instructions. Corona's actual. Blast doors have been closed. Lockdown in effect. Damn, that was close. How about that new guy? That was clutch. Man, we didn't even get to hazing him yet.
Is it just your main pistols or all pistols? What is this music?
All right, man of the hour, you should see an objective marker on your HUD. Just follow that and dock your rig in the bay.
Jim! Scale. From the sound of all the cheering, I'm guessing the rig's working all right. Current retractors coming handy out there?
Yeah, kid. You done good.
Ordinarily, you'd be in for some hazing tonight. But what you did out there just now, you earned a reprieve. Too bad.
Okay.
It's like a glove.
I don't think it's that exciting. Or whatever.
Oh, you're back. I haven't just been standing here the whole time, if that's what you're thinking.
Okay. What the fuck? I've been just standing here this whole time. That's what you're thinking. Like, okay. Wasn't saying nothing.
There he is. LaRoche and everyone here at Coronas owe you big time, Peyton. You sure know how to make an entrance.
Corona's actual. You copy? It's serious.
Talk to me, Jay.
Observation pod 5 disappeared into the ravine out of umbilical range. We're trying to get a visual from camera 8, but the lens is frozen over. I'm rounding up a rescue team, but they need to know where to set up the harnesses.
I'll let Peyton head down ahead of them and make contact. Keep me updated. Out. Peyton, that drink will have to wait. Here, this is a standard issue Camelot Felding grappling hook. You'll need it to descend the ravine. Don't waste a minute. I want them back alive.
Oh, grappling hook. Okay. Wonder what button is. So you do get the grappling hook. Okay. It's so weird. It's such a weird
Are you
game.
jogging laps? Is that it?
What'll it be?
What'll it be? Oh, they're upgrades.
Nice. She'll pack a bigger punch now, though the trade-off's a touch more recoil. It's well worth it in my humble opinion. That ought to tone down your recoil quite a bit. Smart purchase, no question. See yous around.
See us around. Oh, I think I've been in here. Yeah, I don't think there's anything special around here. Nice.
Cool. What do we get to do today? Doodles.
Toodles. Okay. Interesting. I need some water.
Okay, slight problem. Looks like the blast doors got frozen over solid. You'll need to manually force open the hydraulic door pistons with your claw arm. The pistons are on either side of the wall there. Great, now the other one. It's on the opposite wall. That should do it. Opening blast doors now. Be careful out there.
Here, 1 second here. Cause my vape is low. So I'm gonna plug this shit in real fast. And help me. Oh, excuse me. Hey, my bad.
Is there anybody out there? I'm here, fellas. You got pretty lucky. Landed on a solid outcropping. Seems stable enough. Anybody hurt?
Our life support's offline, and we could really use some air. Can you take a look at the exhaust on the TCS exchanger? It must have gotten crushed in the fall.
Where? How?
Yeah, I see it. Purge tubes are all tangled up. Give me a sec. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah! I can hear the life support kicking in now. Thanks, Jim. You're a lifesaver.
All right, you fellas sit tight. The rescue teams will be down here in a jiff.
Thanks, new guy. I already like you better than LaRoche.
5 classes of storms based on unique characteristics. In ascending order of severity, they are Chancellor, Cardinal, Bishop, Monarch, and Emperor. Details can be found on page 185 of your NAVIC Operations Manual. Memorize and know the difference. Stay safe. Stay educated.
Excellent work, Peyton. Now it's time to get down to the nitty-gritty. We surveyed a new thermal pocket nearby at Hanneman's Basin, and we'll need you to plant a T-post to drain the pocket. This is probably your most important duty, keeping the base supplied with T-energy. Uploading the coordinates to you now.
Yeah, I was like, is that a little bobblehead? There is a little bobblehead.
Hiya, Gracie. Got your message loud and clear. And the tunes. Great thought. Thanks. I'm here in one piece. Might be overstating it, but we made it. I'm safe. Just getting oriented. Yeah, there's nothing awkward about this at all. Guess we're gonna have to get used to it. Keep sending, okay? Remind me why I'm out here doing this. I miss you.
Huh.
Butterparty here. Jim, your remittance transfers have been set up as requested. 15% of your contract payments will be paid out to you in the form of T-energy, since that has become the normal currency around the base. The rest of your earnings will be credited to the account on Earth you provided. Butterparty out.
Looks like we've got another sudden Emperor-class storm heading in from blind sector north-northeast. You've got 2 minutes to secure storm shutters and hightail it down to the hangar. Let's move.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Where are you going? What you want me to do? Oh.
It's your job to keep Coronas fueled by finding these thermal pockets on your own, planting T-posts, and maintaining them when they're full. Harvest them regularly and you'll be raking in the credits in no time.
Got it, boss? I think this work is just my speed.
Interesting.
And
So,
so it went for weeks
technically, you
and
guys were the
months
ones who put
until
up
the
the
extraordinary
T-posts.
became commonplace. Dealing with the cold mile life became the new routine. Intense is real, but routine. I kept my sanity and wits by not thinking too deeply about what I was seeing and doing. You got lonesome sometimes out in the Badlands. Music and weekly messages from the missus kept me company. I was making great dough, getting choice contracts. That was the point after all. I made friends with the crew. They're a right good sort, those guys.
His like
Even
old man
LaRoche,
voice is so stupid.
had his moments. For better or worse, I became Braddock's go-to guy. It had its benefits. But sometimes being the one to get the call meant you ended up in some damn strange situations. Plenty.
Die, you stupid bitch.
Harmonizer's almost out of juice. One time I want an acre to attack.
What was I?
Something about getting the call.
Yeah, right. Well, now you know how hard it is to communicate off-world. In those days, Nivek had to work around. An antenna relay on the
Highest peak in the area, so we can call home to Mama with minimal storm interference. It's our lifeline. 2 hours ago, we went offline, and we don't know why. We're effectively cut off from sending and receiving any off-world communications. Some acrid probably got his claws into it.
So once again, you expect me to march out there and fight a horde of monsters in a rig without weapons, huh? Do you know how much of my income I waste on repairs? I want guns on my rig, a simple chain gun.
My hands are tied. Nevik regulations.
Yes, don't weaponize the construction vehicles, but I mean in this case...
Nothing. I'm not going to jeopardize my operation because of your nerve deficit. It's called hazard pay for a reason.
Oh, please.
Hey, boss. Just noticed Comsat's offline.
Yeah.
Mind if I hustle down to the relay station? Give her a gander?
I was just talking to Mr. LaRoche about that very thing. Apparently he's got some concerns about making nice with the wildlife.
Well, no, I don't want to just make a man's contract.
No. Take it. Get yourself killed.
Not for at least double, I mean.
Done.
What?
Back by supper time.
That's kind of funny.
Quartermaster Powers would like to inform the crew that new stock from the latest supply drop is now available.
Mr. Payton, this is Dr. Kovac. Can you read me?
Loud and clear, Doc. Kinda told you can call me Jim.
As you like, Mr. Jim. I was hoping you could pay me a visit in my lab, as your circumstances and logistics allow. Oh, and I believe I'm to mention that remuneration is involved.
So you have a job for me?
I believe I made that abundantly clear.
Oh, abundantly. I'll drop by soon, Doc.
Yeah, if I can go the right fucking way.
Hutchings, we need you in the CAD at Delta Station. A small avalanche blocked the elevator.
Hey, Jim.
I see you.
I was just telling Thomas about when I was a Legionnaire, stationed on the Urbana 5 during the harshest winter in 127 years. We lost 5 crew members a day, and we got trapped in a mountain pass for 4 months. We ate the food stores pretty quick, and, well, you didn't want to know what happened next. All I'm going to say is they've written books about what happened.
Uh-huh, sure. So, let me...
Excuse me. Oh, what is that top level? Laboratories. Alright, 1 second here.
Genetic survival tip number 4. Always keep your socks dry while working in extreme frigid conditions. Hypothermia is your greatest enemy, so heat retention and moisture management are key to your survival. Avoid submersion at all costs, and keep a backup pair in your emergency kit. Stay dry. Stay alive.
Yes. Excuse me, I am just burpy. You learn.
He needed something to take his mind off the cold, so I gave him
a guitar. That's illegal.
Any idea how hard it is to keep a hot meal hot around here? Don't you forget to eat before you leave.
So goofy.
Know why they call him Old Man Braddock? It ain't on account of his age. That's the joke, man. He's in his 40s. Guy's been so stressed out since he's been running this operation, he's put in a dozen years in a matter of months.
Where does this lead to? Oopsies. Where are we?
Processing. Stand by.
Is this the laboratory?
Dr. Kovac never settles for mediocrity when greatness would do.
Oh my God,
his
it is.
naysayers simply envy his talents, I think. Like Dr. Roman. She could achieve as much as Dr. Kovac if only she wants so. What is the word I'm looking for? Ethical. Can you imagine?
Exposure to the extreme cold reduces blood flow and constricts your blood vessels, reducing your circulatory system's overall volume and increasing your blood pressure. This causes your body to reduce fluid volume by getting rid of the excess water.
So in other words...
When you get cold, you want to pee.
All right.
Oh.
Thanks for that.
No problem.
Okay. Alright. You get cold, you want to pee.
Dr. Roman and I certainly had our issues, but I do wonder how she's doing out there. Living off base out in the white like a mountain man is a bit of an overreaction if you ask me, but she was never one for half measures.
Level, the acrid are remarkably unstable. I can't find a record of a species on any documented world that has such a high rate of mutation. I'm sure the radioactivity level of their blood is no coincidence. Theoretically, if forced by Circo circumstances to adapt for survival, it would only take a couple of generations for an acrid to evolve into a distinctly different form.
Ah! As you are undoubtedly aware, I've been tasked with rendering thermal energy a viable and cost-effective power source. Unfortunately, the T-energy from subterranean sources, while plentiful enough to run the Coronis installation, has a purity level entirely too weak for the audacious experiments we seek to conduct.
So, the stuff we drill out of the ground, not pure enough for science.
If paraphrasing me is critical to your comprehension, then yes. Now listen, the acrid. There are wild variances in their impurity index. Some are promisingly pure, potentially pure enough for our purposes. I need a survey of local acrid, samples of their T-energy in the hopes that we can find one with a pure enough composition.
So you want me to kill acrid, basically?
Yes. I'm hoping to take advantage of your noteworthy efficiency as a killing machine. So, let us begin with the Sapaya, those wretched things that so bedeviled our arrival. If you could kill 20 or so and collect their T-energy samples, I should be able to extrapolate a purity index through vertical analysis of the...
Kill 20 acrid, bring you the spill. That's the gig? All over it. Thanks, Doc.
Let me update your map with the best place to look for them based on recent sightings and migration patterns. And if you'd kindly hold still, I'd like to equip a sniffer attachment to your suit's tank. It'll automatically gather samples of T-energy particulates in the air after you've made a kill, so you can just focus on the killing. Such pitiable incuriosity.
What the fuck? See, this shit is dumb. I don't like that we have to like run through this entire thing 20 times to do anything. But past that, it's whatever. Stop.
Cool. What do we get to do today? Till next time, boss.
Interesting. Okay. There are the special components. Which makes sense, obviously.
Hey, what's the rumpus, Jim?
Okay.
Good. That upgrade's a must in my book. Good deal, good deal. You be careful out there, kiddo.
The upgrade's a must in my book. Like, okay, buddy. yeah, like the menuing is, or like it's kind of interesting that they like did this like open world for your home base before it was like really big and popularized, because it is like a big thing now, supposedly, just like all the like open world things. But I mean, I've seen it for a while, but it's just so weird. Like, it didn't need to be like that, and I know I get what they were going for, but it's excessive in a way.
Hey, Jimmy. The science team cooked up a de-icing spray so your rig doesn't freeze with every bad storm. Alrighty, commencing anti-icing procedures. The spray ensures your rig won't freeze in place the second you step outside, but its protection is limited to storms rated below Cardinal class. Copy? Anything beyond that? No guarantees.
So, like, just made the spray, or what?
Hey, baby. Quick message, and, not to worry you, but apparently I am slipping quietly out of my mind. Today, I spent the better part of 20 minutes looking for a hat that I was wearing. This week, I found my keys in the door on the outside, of course, my slippers in the shower, and my toothbrush in the refrigerator. Because you know how important dental hygiene is to produce. Seriously, what is happening? Unless the little man is telekinetic and evil, moving objects around with his mind just in order to drive me crazy, then your wife has become mentally unbalanced. So, that's good news, right? Yeah. I got things totally under control. I know. Kisses. Hey, baby. Quick message, and, not to worry you, but apparently I am slipping quietly out of my mind. Today, I spent the...
Why did you, like, rewatch? Oh, whatever.
Jim, one more thing. There's a pump jack near the fueling depot that's frozen clean over. It's on your way to Shackleton's Peak, roughly. You should make good time getting there. Stop by and clear it off with your rig. In fact, you can consider that a standing contract. Anytime you see a frozen pump jack, just clear it off and invoice me later.
The fuck is it? was that?
Jim, one more thing. There's a pump jack near the fueling depot that's frozen clean over. It's on your way to Shackleton's Peak, roughly. If you make good time getting there, stop by and clear it off with your rig. In fact, you can consider that a standing contract. Anytime you see a frozen pump jack, just clear it off and invoice me later.
Thing's broken. Shocking.
sorry to bother you while you're at work, but it wouldn't kill you to take the trash out every once in a while? That was terrible. Hey, darling. I can't believe it's been 6 months already. You'd think it would feel normal by now, but it doesn't. Especially not for Hank. He never falls asleep the way he did when you tuck him in. Turns out you have the magic touch. Who'd have believed it? Speak of the devil. I gotta go, babe. I love you.
What the hell? The fuck was that?
Oh, come on!
nuisance.
Hey, beautiful. Just sitting on another storm here. You know, but I nowhere while I was working the South Valley. Barely got to my rigging time. I don't want to overstate the obvious here, but it is frightfully cold out here.
Right.
Winter in Michigan cold. I took a deep breath this morning and the hair in my nostrils froze in place. No joke. Yeah, at least the air's clean, I'll give it that. I'd love to say I'm getting used to it, that the cold is growing on me. But it ain't.
It ain't.
Since I came here on that ship, I haven't stopped thinking about you, Grace. Not for 1 minute. The bravery to let me go, raise our boy for a year or two, or who knows. You are a very special lady. I could stay as strong as you. I might just make it through this. I mean, it is rightly cold out here.
Rightly cold out here.
Love you, babe.
What's he doing driving? So goofy. Something in there. Adieu. Hello. You must need like some sort of zipline thing.
Jim, to reach the guts of the relay, you need to get to the top of the mountain. There's a heavy cargo tram system set up. Don't worry, it's plenty sturdy enough for your rig. You'll just need to use your claw to transfer the tram into place.
Nice. we'll probably come back to this area.
Warning. Docking procedure in progress.
Yeah, Jim Salvietti here. Listen, our remote feeds are confirming trouble with the tram system. It'll take a full reboot at the top of the summit to get it working, and you'll have to manually boot up each substation along the way. Pain in the ass, I know.
This is gonna be one of those days.
Heavy cargo successfully docked. System malfunction.
Jim, our feeds are showing one of the stations is back online. You'll need to reboot the rest of them along the way to get your rig up to the dish. There's a cave nearby that ought to lead to the first substation. Good luck.
This kind of reminds me of the Callisto Protocol. But you know what this kind of reminds me of? The Callisto Protocol. Just like design, like so weird. It was made before, so Callisto took from it, but it's just oddly similar. Not at least not yet, but so at least works. Just wish there's more goofiness to it. It seems so American.
Power restored.
That ought to do it.
Oh. Just didn't even see that. I looked up, I feel like. but maybe not.
System online and ready.
I'm ready. You don't think that's gonna, like, you don't think that's gonna break, you know? Like, but Well then. My bad. I just completely fucked that up. What time is it? Wow. Okay. Whatever.
Station online.
Let's see what that did. Where the hell did he come from?
station online.
Looks like the track isn't aligned. I better adjust it so it's heading toward the peak.
Track rerouted.
That should put us in the right direction. somewhere.
There. Alright, I'm gonna call it a day here in a second. Interesting. I don't think there's anything down there. Interesting. Oops.
Station online.
Yeah, we're getting somewhere.
I have like a ammo box
System malfunction.
when you just refilled your shit.
Rebooting system. System online and ready.
Boss fight.
What the hell?
Who the fuck are you? The music, the betrayal. Just ammo.
Cronus Actual, this is Peyton. I'm getting the relay patched up, but listen, I don't know how else to say this, but I think we might have a saboteur on the base.
Saboteur? What makes you say that?
I caught a glimpse of an unidentified person as I arrived. Ran off a cliff before I could get a good look, but I think they were tampering with a relay tower.
Jim, no offense. You're not supposed to go stir crazy until you've been here at least a year.
I'm serious,
Wake up,
boss.
little Minky.
Somebody was out here.
All right, Jim, I believe you. First things first, head into the relay station, raise the satellite dish, and call up the tram. You'll need your rig for the next part.
Big crap.
Cronus Actual, this is Peyton. I'm getting the relay patched up, but listen, I don't know how else to say this, but I think we might have a saboteur on the base.
Saboteur? What makes you say that?
I caught a glimpse of an unidentified person as I arrived. Ran off a cliff before I could get a good look, but
call it a day.
I think they were tampering with a relay tower.
Jim, no offense. You're not supposed to go stir-crazy until you've been here at least a year.
I'm serious, boss. Somebody was out here.
All right, Jim, I believe you. First things first, head into the relay station, raise the satellite dish, and call up the tram. You'll need your rig for the next one.
Yeah, this one's gonna be brutal.
Cronus Actual, this is Peyton. I'm getting the relay patched up, but listen, I don't know how else to say this, but I think we might have a saboteur on the base.
Saboteur? What makes you say that?
I caught a glimpse of an unidentified person as I arrived. Ran off a cliff before I could get a good look, but I think they were tampering with a relay tower.
Jim, no offense. You're not supposed to go stir-crazy until you've been here at least a year.
I'm serious, boss. Somebody was out here.
All right, Jim, I believe you. First things first, head into the relay station, raise the satellite dish, and call up the tram. You'll need your rig for the next one.
I'm gonna give it one more try, just cause.
Cronus Actual, this is Peyton. I'm getting the relay patched up, but listen, I don't know how else to say this, but I think we might have a saboteur on the base.
Saboteur? What makes you say that?
I caught a glimpse of an unidentified person as I arrived. Ran off a cliff before I could get a good look, but I think they were tampering with a relay tower.
Jim, no offense. You're not supposed to go stir-crazy until you've been here for at least a year.
I'm serious, boss. Somebody was out here.
All right, Jim, I believe you. First things first, head into the relay station, raise the satellite dish, and call up the tram. You'll need your rig for the next one.
next time. I feel like. Anyways, that'll be all for today, but as always, y'all have a good one, and we'll see you next time.